morning, Malacañang Press Corps, and to our guest. Welcome sa regular press briefing ni Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Magandang umaga po, buong Pilipinas. Happy Tuesday and good morning to the ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. As you know, yesterday we had a cabinet meeting and the President started the meeting by expressing his exasperation that corruption continues even in his administration. He cited the case of Nayong Pilipino, which leased government property for a ridiculous long period of time of 70 years, beyond the lifetime of anyone. And he considered this as a contract which was grossly disadvantageous to government. He therefore announced that he was sacking all members of the board and management of Nayong Pilipino. The papers that will formally terminate the entire management and the entire board of directors of Nayong Pilipino will be issued in due course by the executive secretary. Likewise, the president expressed regrets over the manner by which two Filipinos were again kidnapped in Libya. Of course, he has stated previously that he was thinking of sending frigates together with the Koreans, no, to at least send the message that the president takes the plight of the Filipino OFWs very seriously. But he has since considered the advice of the cabinet to first form a task force headed by the foreign secretary and composed of Muslim members of the cabinet, including Secretaries Mamao, Alonto, and even Labor Secretary Bello, no? To deal with the hostage crisis in Libya. The problem that complicates this latest case of kidnapping is that the kidnappers are not state agents of Libya. They are militias who are engaged in an armed conflict also with the Libyan government. No? And that is why it was deemed more prudent, no, to work with the Libyan government to see what the demands are. No? Now, it was Secretary Bello who raised the issue that the Korean who was also kidnapped with the Filipinos and the Filipinos were working for a water company, and that water in Libya is considered somehow equally valuable as oil. No? And that's why the Koreans, when they said that everything has to be done to secure the release, were actually exerting pressure to the Libyan government, given the fact that they have threatened to leave the ongoing water project in Libya, which was deemed to be very important in Libya currently. No? So the status right now is that we have formed a high-level, all-cabinet member team to deal with the Libyan government and help in the effort to recover two of our countrymen who were kidnapped together with a South Korean national. On the issue of rice hoarding, the president, consistent with his pronouncement on the SONA, made it very clear that he will not hesitate to use the entire power of the state to utilize police power, even to order the seizure of hoarded rice in the warehouses of these rice hoarders. No? And so he invoked national security in this regard. So we warn rice hoarders that the president will use the full force of the state and force open warehouses where this hoarded rice may be found. Now, other than that, there was a briefing made by TESA Director General on the National Technical Education and Skills Development Plan, where the proposed budget was approved. There was an update on ports and domestic shipping routes. We have restored commercial shipping to and from Manila, Davao, Cotabato, and General Santos, which had been previously suspended because of cheaper air flights. There were mass transportation solutions presented by the DOST Secretary, which the President praised, and which the DOTR Secretary confirmed could be utilized in our bid, provided they have already secured the necessary certificate of safety. And there was also a presentation of the draft executive order on localized peace talks, which pretty much restates, no, the terms and conditions of the localized peace talks, as I have briefed you previously in the earlier cabinet cluster meeting. So that's the brief summary of what happened in the cabinet meeting yesterday. On good news, the construction of Iloilo's biggest irrigation project will start after 15 years of delay. According to the National Irrigation Authority, the Halaur River Multipurpose Project Phase 2, JRMP, nasan si Panay News? Tama ba yung pronunciation ko? Halaur is expected to break its ground in October of this year. 24,000 farmers and their families will benefit from this irrigation project, which will provide year-round irrigation water delivery to 9,500 hectares of fresh irrigable area, as well as rehabilitation of 21,624 hectares covered by 5 existing irrigation systems in 23 municipalities and 2 cities in the province of Iloilo. We welcome also the latest annual World Trade Statistical Review of the World Trade Organization. According to this report, the Philippines ranked third among all exporters of manufacturing services on physical inputs with a total amount of $2.767 billion compared to 2016's $2.725 billion. Meanwhile, exports from other commercial services reached a total amount of $23.5 billion, placing the country to 13th spot. The report also noted the country is in 44th place in the merchandise exports with total amount of 63 billion, higher compared to the 56 billion US dollars in 2016. Likewise, the country is on the 33rd spot in commercial services exports with 36 billion dollars in 2017, higher than the previous year's 31 US billion dollars. Questions from the Malacañang Press Corps.
Sir, before that, we would like to welcome your visitors from Samar, Mayor Isidro Bandal, former Mayor Teresita Bandal, and Ms. Maida Bandal, and of course from our friends from BBC.
We also have my inaanak, Isabel Schneider from Switzerland, who is here visiting.
Welcome. MPC questions. Celerina Monte.
Good morning, sir. Sir, there's this latest figure ng inflation, which is 5.7, and I think it's 5-year high. Was inflation, the increasing inflation discussed during the cabinet meeting? And is there any possibility that the government will approve those recommendations made by the House, led by Speaker Arroyo?
It was not formally discussed, but the President has previously expressed alarm also over rising inflation. The recommendation given by Speaker Arroyo was considered by the economic cluster. I clarified with Secretary Piñol that his recommendation is the issuance of SRPs for fish products. Except that, and as far as importation of fish products is concerned, there's a restriction by law that it cannot be delivered immediately to the markets. No, has to be delivered at an intermediate point, which has to be amended before we can actually effect importation of fish products. No, but we're looking at all aspects at further alleviation measures, and of course, the statement of the President against rice hoarders was because the increase in price of rice was a major contributor to the increase in overall inflation. No? And that's why the President has made it very clear he will use the full power of the state to break open, if need be, the warehouses of rice hoarders.
Pero meron na bang plano na like any action regarding these rice hoarders? Kasi parang that's always the promise. Pero parang wala pa tayong nakikita na hinuli.
Well, actually, lumabas po. Nung minsan po, may tinawagan ng Presidente na ilabas ang bigas at lumabas naman po yung mga bigas na inaasahan. No? Pero patuloy po kasi yung problema ng hoarding. Kung babasahin niyo po yung report ng Senado, no? Mukhang talagang business as usual sa kanya yan. Kaya naman ang Presidente, acting upon intel also provided by DICA, no? And the Bureau of Customs and other sources, has said that he has identified where these warehouses are, and he has given them notice, and that if they persist in hoarding, he will break open the warehouses. But it hasn't reached the point anyway that we have to do that.
Okay, follow up. Joy? Other issues again. Joy Balancio.
Sir, bilang nabanggit nyo na rin yung pagsisibak, ano na pong status ni Secretary Lisa Masa? Was it discussed during the cabinet meeting kahapon? And ano na pong desisyon ng Pangulo?
Wala pa po, so she remains part of the administration. I intended to ask. Again, I forgot. Napakadami pong tinanong kahapon, so nakalimutan ko si Lisa Masa. So next time, I will ask. Maybe this afternoon po.
Sir, another issue po, yung kay ASEC mo kauson, kasi kahapon parang meron na rin sinabi si PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar na hindi naman talaga siya pinaalam yung paggamit kay ASEC mo. Ano na po bang plano natin when it comes to federalism campaign? Ano na yung clear recommendation or plano ng Malacañang kay ASEC uson?
Wala pa pong final plans, kaya po nagulat kami na may ganitong nangyari. No? Nag-uusap pa po. Meron pong interagency talagang meetings ongoing. And the last meeting was on the 31st of the month, of last month. So nagulat na lang kami na meron ng ganitong, kumbaga, propaganda. No? But it was very clear in our meetings that there would have to be a trainer's manual and that there would have to be minimum content to be discussed by trainers. No? So ang unang-unang gagawin po dyan is a trainer's training that we had hoped that ASEC Mocha Uson will also attend, no? Like everyone else who wants to be a disseminator for federalism.
Pero sir, are you urging her to stop posting or talking about federalism in social media?
Wala po akong jurisdiction sa kanya. It was his boss, Secretary Martin Andanar, who already spoke that she was not authorized to embark on this undertaking, no? She is under PCOO po.
Marisa Lalili, TV5.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, is the President aware of the controversial video posted by ASEC Mocha?
I think he's been made aware.
And what was his reaction on the video?
Well, now everyone knows what federalism is, but not exactly in the manner that we want it, no? But I think he shared my sentiment that it must have been, there must have been good intentions, but he agrees that there has to be more substantive discussions on federalism.
Secretary Andanar yesterday said that even Executive Secretary Medialdea was annoyed even before the video was posted, just to the mere fact that sinabi sa media that ASEC Mocha will be the spokesperson on federalism. So what will be the next move of Malacañang?
Alam niyo po, natatakot ako magkomento dyan dahil double hearsay yan eh, no? According to ES from Secretary Andanar, no? So I suggest that you ask them directly, no? Kasi I do not know if ES actually said that because it came from Secretary Andanar. But all I know is that there has not been designation on who the main spokesperson for federalism will be. I know my role was recognized that as presidential spokesperson, and for as long as the president includes this in his agenda, that I would have to play a major role in this. But I continue to await for the dissemination materials. No? Although there are schedules that I have agreed to speak, hindi pa po nagsisimula yung mga schedule na yan.
And, sir, given that the President is also not in favor of the way it was presented, I mean through the video presented by ASEC Mocha, did he give any specific instruction about
Actually,
this?
wala naman po siyang binigay na instruction. At the President was very cool about it. No? I mean, he's he's first and foremost a believer in freedom of expression. But of course, he knows that charter change has to be more serious. But to him, it was not really a big thing. No? He would want a more rational approach to the dissemination. He found it, unconventional to get the people's interest into federalism. And in a way, I guess, no, everyone's talking federalism, probably not in the way that we want them to talk about federalism, but certainly we're sure that the number of people who don't know about federalism has gone down. Let's just transform the debate now into something more substantive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
About,
sir.
still on federalism, Rose and then Joseph. Still.
Sir, good morning. Ay.
Yes.
Sir, ano po yung reaction nyo dun sa pahayag ni Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas na hinihiling nila na mag-apologize si ASEC Mocha Uson at i-delete yung video na kontrobersyal tungkol sa federalismo at umasta siya o kumilo siya ayon sa Code of Ethical Standards of Public Officials and Employees at ayon po sa Magna Carta of Women? Ano po yung masasabi nyo rito?
I differ po kay Mocha Uson dahil hindi naman po niya ako spokesperson. No? I think she can answer that very well.
So, papayuhan nyo ba siyang umayos ayon sa pamantayan po ng isang serbisyo publiko o opisyal ng gobyerno at ayon din po sa Magna Carta of Women?
Well, sa akin po kasi wala pong jurisdiction kay ASEC Mocha, no? I am not her superior in government and I come from a completely different department from her, no? So I leave it to her and I leave it to her boss, Secretary Martin Andanar.
So, do you encourage, sir, yung mga public officials na sundin po yung Magna Carta of Women at saka po yung Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for public officials?
I think all public officials took an oath to uphold all laws, and therefore it's incumbent upon all public officials to, in fact, abide with all existing laws.
Sir, ano po yung, katulad po ni Presidente, ang sabi nyo kanina, wala siya nakikitang masama doon sa paggamit po ng masiselang bahagi ng isang babae para po gawing katatawanan ng isang public official?
Well, hindi naman niya sinabing walang masama. Sinabi lang niya na it's freedom of expression, gawin lang mas seryoso ang dissemination activity dahil seryoso naman itong bagay nito. Pero hindi naman niya sinabing walang masama.
Last na lang po. So, sir, naniniwala kayo na hindi dapat gamitin yung katawan ng babae para ilako yung isang advokasya ng pamahalaan?
Sabihin na lang po natin kanya-kanyang estilo yan, pero kung ako po magdi-disseminate, iba po ang pamamaraan na gagamitin ko.
So, hindi nyo gagamitin yung katawan ng babae?
Hindi po.
Okay, thank you.
From BBC, please. Microphone, please.
Hi, sir. Howard Johnson, BBC News.
Yes.
About constitutional reform. The 1987 Constitution, sometimes referred to as the Human Rights Constitution because it followed years of torture and killings under martial law. With this new constitutional reform, will this government uphold and honour the articles about human rights in Article 3?
I don't think there's any substantial amendments on the Bill of Rights, even under the proposed Constitution. In fact, there isn't any substantial amendment as far as the Bill of Rights is concerned.
And according to Article 3, in the last couple of years, how do you assess the government's upholding of those sections about human rights?
Well, of course, it can't be perfect, but I would say it's not as bad as the previous administrations. There are allegations of human rights violations, but I challenge all lawyers, in fact, to document the evidence and file the proper charges in court because under our system of law, unless you begin the actual legal process, then it won't work. So what we've had so far are numbers, complaints, but never any formal filing of cases. So the last time I had a speech delivered on my behalf before the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, I challenged lawyers. File the cases because that's what we should be doing.
Okay, Ina Andalong, CNN Philippines.
Hi, sir. Sir, going back to ASEC Mocha, so the president said, or the president was cool about it. You said that it's just unconventional way of promoting federalism. It's part of freedom of expression. So does this mean that the president does not see the need to call out ASEC Mocha for the video, which obviously has also gotten a lot of negative feedback?
I guess what the president says is, she said that, let it be. But there is, of course, formal dissemination as far as the work output of the Constitutional Committee is concerned, and the work of ASEC Mocha Uson can't be a substitute for honest-to-goodness dissemination.
So if she still wants to continue with these types of content on her blog, you'll just let her do it?
She was not actually performing her official functions because, as Secretary Andanar clarified, she was not authorized to do that video, on behalf of the interagency committee on dissemination for the proposed charter change, So she was doing it in her personal capacity. You can't stop her.
So she still can on her personal blog? if
She can do
wishes.
anything and everything on her personal blog.
On another issue?
Wait lang. Joseph, may follow-up. And Raymond Tinasa. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, you mentioned that the president was made aware or informed about the video of ASEC Mocha. So he was reacting when a mere briefing, not actually seeing the whole video.
It was shown to him.
Okay. So did he laugh, entertained, amused?
He wasn't laughing. He was, as I said, he was cool. It's freedom of expression. He is a staunch believer in freedom of expression. Kaya nga mahilig magmura, no? So, wag niyo siyang pigilan, no? Wala rin siyang pinipigilan, no? But he says, we know that this is not exactly the federalism that we want. There has to be an official form of disseminating on the proposed changes we want on charter change, but that's her freedom.
Sir, follow-up lang dun sa issue ng rice hoarding. Sir, related dun sa pinupush natin na rice tariffication. Sir, ngayon pa lang hindi na halos matapos-tapos yung issue ng rice cartel, rice hoarding, and the like. How can we be assured that once the quantitative restriction na bahagi dun sa rice tariffication bill ay lifted na hindi ito samantalahin naman ng mga rice cartel, mga hoarders?
Hindi kasi namin makita kung paano sasamantalahin niya ng rice cartel. Kaya nagkakaroon ng cartel kasi nga, yung importation ngayon, on the basis of quotas. So mayroong mga malalakas dyan na nakakakuha ng quotas para mag-import. Diyan nagsisimula ang korupsyon. Kung aalisin mo yung mga quotas na yan at hahayaan mong lahat na po pwedeng mag-angkat, mawawala yung korupsyon dahil mawawala yung diskresyon ng mga taong gobyerno kung sino ang po pwedeng mangalap ng bigas. Lahat ngayon pwede nang mangalap basta magbayad ng napakataas na taripa. No? At yung taripa naman gagamitin para sa mga lokal na mga magsasaka. No? So sa tingin namin, yung tariffication nga, yung pag-aalis ng diskresyon sa taong gobyerno na mag-aalis din ng korupsyon.
Pero hindi ba sa realidad yung may kakayahang makapag-angkat, ayun din naman yung may kakayahan ding makapag-cartel at makapag-control ng presyuhan sa palengke?
Well, ang katotohanan is kapag meron kang kakayahan na mag-angkat, nagagawa mo ngayon yan dahil may impluensya ka sa gobyerno. Alisin mo yung importansya ng impluensya sa gobyerno at hayaan mo lahat ng pwede mag-angkat. Eh di lahat yan mag-aangkat.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Joseph Morong.
Sir, you said that there's a better way of explaining federalism, and it's a very serious challenge in terms of acceptability. No, being statistics 67%. You don't want to change all that. Why did you say that? Because what is the effect of this kind of attitude and manner of presenting the concept?
Ay, hindi ko na po alam ang sagot dyan dahil hindi ko naman pinag-aaralan yan. No? Ang sa amin lang po, even in the interagency meeting, naghahanap kami mga pamaraan para mas mabuting maintindihan yan. May mga suggestion na comics, may mga suggestion na mga jingle, may mga suggestion na commercials, 30-seconders, may mga proposed jingles na ang lyrics are importante. So yun lang po ang tinitignan natin. Pero hindi ko po alam yung tinatanong nyo na epekto ng ginawa ni Mocha Uson dahil hindi naman po namin yung pinag-aaralan.
No, I mean, does it damage the concept?
Well, sa tingin po namin, hindi po namin alam, no? Pero one thing is sure, bagamat hindi kami sang-ayon doon sa pamamaraan, talagang naging controversial ngayon ang federalismo. So ang hamon ngayon is how do you translate this controversy into something positive for federalism? So, there's always an opportunity in anything that happens, and that's the challenge now. How to transform this new interest on federalism spurred by this controversy in explaining why we want this change to the Constitution towards federalism.
Sir, will this help in will this help the public understand the concept when you have a very interesting jingle and the lackadaisical attitude about it?
Well, I think anything will help, no? May kontrobersiya kasi. So habang may kontrobersiya, pinag-uusapan, so magkaroon na tayo ng mga diskusyon kung ano talaga yung federalismo. Bakit natin gusto na mga lokal na pamahalaan na ngayon ang mag-implement ng mga proyekto dahil nga mas malapit sila sa mga taong bayan na hindi dapat hindi dapat nagdedepende dun sa mga ahensya na napakalayo sa probinsya, no? So ganun ang gagawin na siguro ngayon, no? Try to make the most out of the controversy and explain the positive side of federalism. Narariyan na yan eh. Hindi mo naman mababalik ang panahon, no, para burahin yan. So let's try to use it to our favor and just explain now what the controversy is and what true federalism is. So yun po yung hamon ko sa mga totoong nagsusulog ng federalismo gamitin niyo na po itong pagkakataon na lahat ay nagtatanong tungkol dito sa federalismo at explain kung ano ito.
Okay.
Okay, last two on federalism, Christine and then Ace Romero.
Hi, sir. Just on the statements made by the president on the video, was were the statement made during a talk between the two of you or during the cabinet meeting last night?
No, it was a private talk.
So you asked him about the.
It was a private talk we had a meeting, a separate meeting between me, ES, Sec Dominguez, and Sec Chokno.
So it was the main discussion.
No, it was not main discussion.
Just
It was
one of
just,
those.
one of those things that came out.
Just another detail. Dun sa warehouses that you said you have intelligence report.
The president
yeah.
does.
These warehouses are owned by the rice traders.
Yes, I understand. This he announced in the cabinet meeting. And this was not in the agenda, but he began the cabinet meeting by talking about the Libya situation, the corruption, and the rice situation.
So he was briefed about yung how bad is the rice hoarding problem.
Let's just say he knows who the rice hoarders are and where their warehouses are.
But he won't force open yung warehouses until
He
what,
has
sir?
threatened to force
So-
open them. He has given them fair warning, and he says, let them sue me if they want. But if the situation calls for it, I will break open the warehouses because this is a matter of national security. Food security is a matter of national security.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, Jen, follow up.
Sir, bago nagsona, sinabi ni Secretary Andanar sa National Security Meeting, parang may inutusan si Presidente sa meeting at tinawagan niya yung isang alleged na sangkot dun sa rice cartel at pinagmumura daw. Sir, alam pala ni Presidente kung sino ito at alam niya yung mga aktibidad. Bakit po hindi pa sila sinasampahan ng kaso?
Well, nung tinawagan po siya ni Presidente, and this was supposed to be off the record, you did not hear it from me, but since it's out, he was given 72 hours, and we monitored. The rice did come out. So there was no need to even announce who he was, and apparently, he emptied his warehouses.
Pero di ba krimen po yung rice hoarding?
Well,
Nangyari naman po yung rice hoarding, bakit po walang kinakasuhan at walang napaparusahan sa kanila for
that's a gray area kasi papasok yan dun sa unfair competition, no? Pero unfair competition, well, may mga elements yan that may or may not have been complied with, no? Pero ang ginawa lang ng Presidente, easy remedy, kasi magkakasuhan pa, matagal pa. Ito, he was given 72 hours, and in 72 hours, lumabas naman ang bigas. So ang aking assurance ng Presidente sa taong bayan, alam po niya kung sino yung mga naglalaro dyan. Para naglalaro na nagre-resulta sa mahal na presyo ng bigas, binigyan sila ng warning, at yung first warning, sumunod naman. So ang kanyang continuing warning is, tumigil na kayo. Kasi kilala ng Presidente kung sino kayo, and this time around, he made it very clear. He will not hesitate to break open the warehouses, sue him. But he will break open the warehouses if it becomes an issue of national security.
Okay, Jenaline Kabiling.
Sir, back to Nayong Pilipino. Can you give us details about the contract forged by the officials? Is this the contract with the Chinese casino operator?
He did not say. Basta, in fact, he did not even specify. No? Basta sabi niya, everyone. So actually, last night, kaming dalawa ni ES were discussing, should we even bring this up to the media because wala pang detalye, no? Niya, pwede lang ilabas siguro yan, no? Basta sabihin na lang, lahat sila, no? It was a contract that originally was 70, reduced to 50, now reduced to 25, but the rental payment was still unconscionable. So, hindi ko alam po ang detalye, but he was just exasperated, no? He started the meeting with a general expression of exasperation. And it was also a warning to all in the cabinet na it's a continuing campaign, no?
Sir,
And
sorry.
so hindi ko alam yung detalye. I was just reporting on what the president said.
So is the lease contract now cancelled?
He said he will have it canceled as being grossly disadvantageous to government.
Sir, will you pursue charges? Will the government pursue charges against these Nayong Filipino officials?
I
for
do not
corruption?
know yet whether or not charges will be pursued. I'm only announcing that he has sacked all of them.
Okay, last question na tayo. Okay, Ace Romero.
Regarding the lease contract, you mentioned 70 years ba yun, if I heard it correctly?
Oo, parang originally it was 70 years. And
Pero
then
yung
to
mukhang
50.
25 years lang.
Ngayon, naging 25 na. But it started as 70.
Ito ba yung Nayon Land project?
As I said, I do not know the details.
If-
I'm just repeating what the president said in relation to his campaign against corruption.
Pero bakit nabigyan ng, well, hindi pala yun yung project, hindi yun sinasabi. Pero, so definitely the project will be stopped na. Wala na yun. Canceled na yung project.
In fact, ironically, today is supposed to be
Yes.
the
Oo,
day
may
they
event
will
daw
launch it.
ngayon.
No? Sorry to burst your bubble, people, but the president said that's grossly disadvantageous to government.
So canceled na yun. Why, anyway, bakit daw po disadvantages kahit yung general?
No details.
No details.
Okay.
May I follow up on another issue or?
Ina, follow-up ka ba sa Nayong Pilipino? Okay.
Sec about the EO on the localized peace talks. When do we expect the president to issue that EO?
It was approved in the cabinet meeting, so it is forthcoming. Pero, you know, I gave you the salient features earlier. So it's still the same. It's still based on the same framework that I discussed with you. Okay? So it was just made into an EO.
So na-approve na ba
Oo, so it's forthcoming.
forthcoming? Thank you, Secretary.
Last question na tayo, Inandulong.
Sir, mine is a clarification doon sa bago ninyong party, yung hugpong. Which party, sir, were you referring to ba? Yung hugpong ng pagbabago of Mayor Sara? Because you were also talking about that yung party ni Pangulong Duterte, which actually is hugpong sa katauhan. Yun yung long-time party po ni Pangulo. So which one did you join?
I think yesterday I took an oath under hugpong ng pagbabago.
Yung kay
Sara.
Mayor Sara.
Yes.
Sir, the bylaws of that that organization requires its members to be a registered voter of the region. I believe
Ganun
you
ba?
voted in Quezon City.
Baka
at the
hindi ako
last-
member ng hugpong pagbabago. Baka hindi ako naging member ng hugpong pagbabago.
So, paano yun, sir? Because ganun po
Well,
siya.
you know, I knew that it was a regional party. I guess the oath was an indication that I support the regional party of Mayor Sara, even if I'm not entitled to be a voting member of the party because I'm not a registered voter of the Davao area.
Okay, and your reason, the reason you mentioned yesterday was that you were joining the party dahil party naman po yun ng Pangulo, and now it's the president. It's different from what the president's party actually
Well,
is. So what is your, sorry,
I
but what is your
think in
business joining the
essence,
party?
it's hugpong is, you know, whether be it the same party or different party, in essence, it's the same. In essence, it's the same hugpong local party of the president. I know it's a local party. I know it's a regional party. I know I'm from Metro Manila. So for all intents and purposes, it's my expression of support, knowing that I may not be relevant to the party anyway because I'm not from there. Wala naman mawawala. Oh, di ba?
So
Oh.
hindi kayo member after
She is
all.
the
Okay,
daughter of
thank
my boss. Why will I not support her? Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, last question is Celerina.
Sir, clarification lang regarding sa Nayong Pilipino. Kasama ba doon si Fema Duterte, yung kamag-anak ng presidente sa
No
kasal
other
na
details.
Tanggal?
I'm just announcing what the president said. Okay? And we were hesitant even to bring this out because I know that they have a big event today. Well,
Sir, basahin ko lang yung question ni Pia Renada. Who are the cabinet although nasagot niyo naman, who are the cabinet members PRD ordered to go to Libya to help secure Filipino hostages? Is it true he was dissuaded from sending 2 frigates?
well, let's just say that initially that was his course of action, but now he formed a high-level task force, and they said it's headed by Secretary Alan Cayetano and the Muslim members of the cabinet, including, okay? Nasagot ko na yan kanina, di ba?
Yes. Okay, maraming... Use the microphone.
So, sir, mukhang ongoing yung event ng Nayang Pilipino. May nagsasayawan dun sa, no? So, dapat hindi na sila Because, effectively, wala na sila, di ba?
Kayo naman, party spoiler na nga tayo. Gusto niyo pang idiin. Okay, thank you very much. See you on Thursday.
Okay, maraming salamat, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps, sa ating mga bisita back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.